restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine & Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars, Wall-to-Wall Wine & Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Walk On Weekly with your hosts, Nebraska men's basketball players Sam Hoiberg and Jeff Grace III. This is Walk On Weekly.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights, streaming only as we got Royals on the FM airwaves. But if you guys want to join the show, you still can. 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. Put a face to the voice. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. This is Walk On Weekly. We got no Jeff Grace III, but Sam Hoiberg joins us. And we got a guest as well in studio today. Sam Hoiberg, I'll throw it to you and let everybody know who we got in studio.
Well, welcome back to the studio Rink Mast. I think most people know who you are by now, so I don't think I need to do too big of a welcome, but
I think this is
welcome back.
My third time on the show or something.
Yeah,
I didn't want to let you do the show on your own, so I was like, I'll come hang out and talk some basketball.
We need a new perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we can start there just with the injury and get the house cleaning out of the way, because I imagine that's curious in most people's mind. I don't know if a lot of people even realized you were struggling with that throughout the season and how painful that was for you. So just kind of break through, the injury, and then I know it's a tough decision, but deciding to undergo the surgery.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of where it started, like non-conference before Kansas State, like leading up to Kansas State. The full week leading up to Kansas State, I didn't practice at all because my knee was just bothering me that much. And then we got it checked out, and like basically played the Kansas State game with like heavy meds, and then decided to get my knee cleaned out during the Christmas break. And I was back for like the Indiana game, so that was all good. But it was only like a cleanup, and we knew that after the season it was probably going to need a little bit more fixing. Played on it the whole season, but I felt like I was playing at like 80-85%. It wasn't amazing. So after the season, we started talking to doctors, and at first we thought, well, I can just get a little bit bigger surgery, be out for, I think at that point we said like 4 to 6 months or something. But then when we actually started to talk to the doctors, they said, no, this is gonna need a little bit bigger surgery to actually get you healthy for the long run. And well, I've always talked with my parents, like at the end of the day, like long-term health always goes first. Like basketball, you're only going to be able to play it for so long, and I want to be able to do that for as long as possible, and then afterwards be able to like play with my kids or something. So,
all valid reasons. Like, those are all absolutely fair.
And like, I could have done another season the way I did it this year with like I've been on pain meds since pretty much the cleanup in during Christmas, and then there's some like other things you can do like PRP, and it was going to be manageable, but it was going to be another season at like 80-85%, and then probably in the next 2 or 3 years I was going to have to do this surgery anyway. So just decided that if I'm going to have to do the surgery, then might as well just do it right away and try and see if I can get back to more closer to 95-100% of what I know I can be, and then play another season of college basketball, most likely. As a healthier and better version of myself, and it's gonna suck for a year, but I just hope that it's gonna play out well for me in the long run.
Yeah, I gotta ask before we move on here, just how hard of a decision was that for you? Because you were playing pretty well. I think a lot of people were impressed by your game this season. The playmaking stood out for itself, and I think the 3-point shot, people were surprised how consistent that was. Obviously an awesome season. You guys make it to March Madness. You run into a red hot Texas A&M team, but nonetheless, a great season. How hard was it for you to go ahead and make that decision? Not that anything wrong with it. Again, the long run game totally makes sense, but how hard was it to come to that conclusion?
I mean, yeah, just like you said, we had a great season. I think I played pretty well. Did it like as a team, we just had an awesome run, and to like basically have to say, hey, I'm not going to be playing with the same guys. Like I know Bryce has one more year, Juwan has one more year. We're bringing in a bunch of guys that have one more year. It's like, I'm like, we have momentum here now, so you want to keep carrying that. So making that decision, and just in general making the decision. Like right now, I'm still walking around and still doing, still lifting with the team. I'm not doing any on-court workouts now that we know that I'm gonna have surgery. So it's like, why risk anything else? But like I'm still just walking around and doing all my normal things. And then I'm gonna have to get surgery, and I'm gonna be like non-weight bearing for 2 months. Like I'm gonna be on crutches for a while. It's like,
is this the biggest surgery you're gonna have to go through?
So it's like ACLs, like they're very tough. I've done that before. But those are done a little bit more often. The surgery that I'm having, especially for like high level athletes, it just hasn't been done that much. So it's there's just less data on how the knee recovers and like how the rehab goes for it. So it's I know I've done some rehabs before. I know I'm pretty good at them, but it's still going to be a rehab of 10 months, and we got to manage that thing and make sure it just heals properly.
Yeah, at least we got a good faculty and good buildings around there at Nebraska to definitely help out with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
being a Lonzo Ball fan, I understand with the knees. Stuff you got to be careful with.
So like I'm gonna have very similar surgery to Lonzo, and Lonzo has had problems with it, but we talked to the same doctor that did the surgery for him, and he said like it sounds like Lonzo is doing pretty well in his recovery now. It's been taking him a little bit longer. I don't know
he
his
had
exact
multiple.
story.
I think Sam Hoiberg, you can help me out if I'm not remembering the history correctly, but he had multiple surgeries trying to clean it up over and over. And I think they were just having a hard time figuring out until that last surgery. And now he is supposedly doing better.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played in years, so I know they obviously expect you to be able to play for another season here after your rehab. So
yeah, I want to say there's a few not botched surgeries, but with Lonzo Ball's case, just not entirely sure what the problem was. And as a result, just kind of led to a drawn out. But apparently the last surgery went well. With that being said, I just want to get that house cleaning out of the way because I know that's probably going to be on most people's minds about Rink Mast, who will be undergoing surgery and be out for the next season, but still remaining on to a year of eligibility if he does decide to come back and play another year of college ball after this upcoming season. But that being said, guys, the NBA playoffs have been awesome, especially on the Western Conference. I'll throw it to you, Sam Hoiberg.
The East, especially last night, I wasn't able to watch the game,
that
but I heard the
Pacers-Knicks game was
amazing.
Yeah, that was down to the wire.
Elite. I mean, the dunks, the Obi Toppin between the legs dunk on like a normal fast break. Was it Neesmith with the poster and one? I mean, he just flew. And then the Knicks just kept coming back and couldn't get the lead. And then they finally got the lead. And then Indiana took it back. And then the calls kind of screwed up a little bit. Could have been really fun, but also like seeing Madison Square Garden on fire like that is pretty fun to watch. And I thought that Philly Knicks series was also a really fun, entertaining series to watch.
Feels like the Knicks are going to be fun as a whole. I will say the Bucks Pacers series was pretty disappointing. Maybe that's the one I'm more picking on.
Yeah, you can definitely pick on that. And
if you
the
got
Celtics Heat,
Giannis being out the entire series, and then Dame also missing a couple games, like it's gonna be a rough one.
But you look at the Knicks, and they don't have Julius Randle. They still figure out a way to get it done with a bunch of guys that are playing big moments. Doc Rivers too. I just feel like he gets loaded in a good roster after good roster. You still had Damian Lillard. I know he didn't play the entire series, but they just seem he can't ever figure it out. The Cavaliers Magic, I think, was pretty entertaining. They obviously fall short, and you got the Celtics Cavaliers, Pacers Knicks, Timberwolves Nuggets. We'll dive into that one, I'm sure. Thunder Mavericks. I do got to talk to you guys though about the Phoenix Suns getting swept and how we feel about that. And
I think we need to apologize to the Phoenix Suns if we were being mean to them, because look at the Minnesota Timberwolves in this series. 2-0 could very well sweep the Denver Nuggets. You can't be. Did Phoenix get swept? They got swept, right?
They did. Them and the Pelicans, the only two teams get swept.
So I mean, especially if Minnesota is able to sweep the Nuggets this series, then I don't think anything's wrong with Phoenix. I think Minnesota's just that legit.
Yeah, it could. That is a good point.
With the star power that's on the Suns, like I get it that people kind of want to hate on him, but I mean, we're seeing it right now. Like the Timberwolves are just clicking on a different level.
And I also don't want to say I called it back when the Suns got Bradley Beal, but what did I say? There's only one basketball. I said it wasn't going to work. I don't understand how they constructed that roster whatsoever. I think they need to trade one of their stars or even two and just bring in more complementary pieces around Booker, honestly. Durant, obviously, still very serviceable. Beal, I don't think will be your number one guy, and he hasn't really won in his career, so I don't love that. But you got to get rid of at least one of them and just bring in more complementary basketball players for them to win.
Who do you move on from? Yeah, because, well, according to the GM, there's 26 other teams that would love to swap picks, players, everything with him. I'm not entirely buying that because those guys are locked into some pretty decent contracts. Who's the guy that you're going to try to shake out to make this thing work? Because you're locked into most of them.
I mean, you got young Devin Booker, who is going to be the guy to build around.
You got to hold on to him for sure.
You're holding on to Devin Booker. I think depending on what you can bring in with those other two guys, I'm fine with them moving on. I mean, obviously, you got to bring in some real good players, but I think you can sacrifice a little bit of just star power for the right pieces that'll fit and make them a team. More like the Timberwolves, they don't have a KD in a book, but Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, and then you got Rudy Gobert.
Defense Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. Now
D-Boy?
just got announced.
He got it?
Yeah, he got it.
But yeah, I say like
not Wemby. Oh.
You were going to give it to Victor.
No, Wemby was never going to win it.
No, but like when you like look at the numbers,
the blocks in particular, or what numbers are we talking about?
Just like
defense is not about numbers.
Defensive impact in general. Like I think I love Gobert on defense, but I think that entire roster is very good defensively, especially with the 2 7-footers in Cat and Gobert, both rim protecting. And I just think that Wemby was like the one piece on the Spurs that was actually good on defense. All the others, like I didn't watch a whole lot of Spurs, but I just think with like what he was able to do on defense and like I mean, everybody sees the highlight videos of like where people just don't want to shoot when Wemby is near the rim.
Yeah.
Like everybody dribbling on fast breaks and Wemby is just there and they don't even want to shoot.
He does have his weaknesses though.
Hmm?
He does have his weaknesses defensively.
Oh yeah.
And I watched a bunch of Spurs games this year with my brother being on the staff. And there were games where they really were picking on him. Like Embiid had 70 on him, and Wemby was guarding him.
People forget about that game.
Okay.
Like he was not as good as Rudy this year,
Okay.
in my opinion. And I'm a Spurs biased person here. I think Rudy's been elite, and I think he's one of the best defenders maybe of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say that.
How many?
Wemby's gonna get some though.
No,
He's gonna start
I-
taking them for sure.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, as a rookie, like yeah, I get it. You don't want to give it to a rookie because like he definitely has a lot of flaws in his game. He definitely has a lot of stuff to improve on. And with the season that Minnesota and Gobert put together on defense, yeah, no, I mean, he's definitely deserving for sure. I just wanted to like bring up the Wemby thing with like the blocks, like
It is
it's
pretty
just
ridiculous.
insane.
I saw a stat. It's like he's got more than like 85+% of NBA players
Any
already
all-time NBA players, yeah.
throughout their not just season, just like collectively throughout their careers. So,
Unbelievable.
I mean, what's the missing thing for him defensively then? Is it just the size? I mean, that's what you talk about the Joel Embiid
It's
game.
the
That's what-
strength, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, when he plays a monster, well, that was early in the year as well. So I think he's definitely learned. And I mean, you don't have to be super bulky to be able to guard a guy like that when you have his length.
Yeah, like Rudy Gobert. He's not the biggest guy out
No,
there.
he's
but
not.
He's just got to put enough on him to where you can't get just bullied.
I
by
think
guys like
people
Joel
want
Embiid.
him to like do kind of like a development like Giannis, where he gets like extremely buff. I don't think he has to get as strong as Giannis because he's got the speed.
Mhm.
And at his height, like all the mass that you're gonna put on, that's gonna be a lot of load on the knees and the
those
ankles.
knees.
And like the taller you are, the more your knees are at risk.
You're a big, strong,
Yeah.
tall guy. Like
Mhm.
you've done it to yourself.
Yeah, no, it's
Now you gotta get them repaired.
It's definitely my fault. Like I'm
You got too strong, right?
and like in the future, I'm definitely gonna try and like lean out a little bit and play a little lighter for sure. 'Cause
Relax on the squat rack.
No, not even, but like with all the jumping that we do in the games and everything, the heavier you are, every time you land, it's a lot of impact on the
And
knees.
even like someone like me, when I gained some weight and got more muscular and even I gained some fat my freshman year,
Mhm.
I could immediately feel it on the knees. Like it was much harder as a not tall human being.
Mhm.
So like being
So-
7'4", and
Oh,
I
yeah,
think Wemby's coming out, has come out and said he's not going to get too big. Like he,
No.
Which is smart. He's got a really clean injury history too.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell that guy how to treat his own
Yeah.
body.
Oh, he's been great with like stretching and
Mhm.
just like taking care of his
watch how
body in
Giannis
general.
shoots. He's like he's
Yeah,
about
no,
to go
his hands are just
flex
like
on somebody.
enormous.
his shoulders. I don't think they allow him to shoot well. He's like
I still
Too
don't
bulky.
get how Wemby like actually is able to shoot because like his hands are probably massive too.
It is
feels,
weird.
He feels like he's shooting with like a softball.
yeah. Have you ever shot with something that size? It's difficult.
Yeah, it is weird. There's like a lot of pictures you can see. Like his fingers almost wrap away like halfway around the ball. So I don't know
Are
how
his
he gets
hands
that
bigger
reduced.
than Kawhi? Do we know? Or who has the
That's a
biggest
good-
hands in the league? Is Kawhi's?
That's a
Or
good
is
question.
it Giannis?
Let's find that
Who-
out
'cause
right
it was.
now.
I think it was one of those two before Wemby came into the league, and then Wemby's an alien. He might have won it.
Mhm.
Might have overtaken it.
Boban actually holds the record. Good old
Boban does.
Yeah.
Boban.
Uh,
Man,
so we'll have to
that's a
search these
giant.
He
separately.
could step out and shoot a three.
Boban?
Boban has. I've seen it.
Yeah, but like that's the same as Zach
Okay,
Edey
I'm
shooting
kidding.
a three. Come on now.
This is actually surprisingly, it's
We
not
get
the
into
first thing
that.
Basketball Reference pops up for you. Let's see, Kawhi Leonard looking at about 9.75 inches in length and about almost a foot in width, 11.25. So 11 and a quarter inches. That is ridiculous. Let's look at
Crazy.
Victor. I want to say Victor Wembanyama might even have bigger hand size. Let's see here. That's why you gotta. Let's see. They don't actually have. We'll have to find that out during the break because I'm gonna have to do a little bit. It's not right away.
The fact that we're even talking about this is insane because Kawhi's like 6'7".
Yeah,
he might be 7'4".
That's just the ridiculousness of Kawhi Leonard's hands, though. They definitely. He's another guy. We haven't talked about the Clippers yet, but did you guys see this coming on with the Clippers? James Harden, he pulls his magnificent disappearing act. He drops, I think, 30 plus points, and then he comes the next game, drops 7. And he did put up good assist numbers, but in the last game, he only was in the low teens. James Harden kind of disappeared again. Clippers, where are you guys at with them in terms of blowing things up? Paul George has not signed any max extension. He looks skeptical about the whole process.
Blow it up. Blow it up.
I think we're in, like, it's the same problem as Phoenix. Like, there's only one ball, and they have a bunch of guys.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. By the way, yeah.
But at least theirs fits a little better. When you look at
it, does. I like it better than the Suns, but I still hate it.
Yeah. And I love Dallas. Like, going into the series, I was like, Dallas, like, they got it for sure.
Because of Luka or Kyrie, or what about that team's different this year?
Luka just has their number, even though Kyrie was elite. Kyrie was playing so well.
So good.
I'm happy to be wrong about Kyrie.
That looked like prime Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
He was fun to watch.
I was done on Kyrie Irving's not career, but in terms of being like that star caliber player. I was dead wrong. That guy's awesome. Maybe it was. I mean, he kind of complained about the media putting him. He didn't help himself with a lot of those statements, but it is fun to see Kyrie Irving ball out like that again. But that being said, though, we'll go ahead and throw it to break already. We'll take a short break here, streaming only again. So we got Royals on the FM airwaves. If you guys want to put a face to the voice, you can do so through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, Channel 961. We got Rink Mast in here of Nebraska basketball, along with the host, as always, Sam Hoiberg. Don't go anywhere. We'll throw it to break. Talk to you guys on the other side.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather with no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for after the spring game in late April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Fuhrer's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Join On the Block and Old School live from Scissors and Scotch on 30th and Yankee Hill on Thursday, June 6th to celebrate their grand opening. Feel better instantly with a beard trim, haircut, or a traditional shave courtesy of the experienced and professional barbers at Scissors and Scotch. Stick around after your cut and enjoy a beverage in their cozy bar area, and don't worry, there's more than just Scotch. Spend your afternoon with Scissors and Scotch at 93.7 The Ticket, live on location June 6th from 2 to 6 p.m.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Back to Walk On Weekly. Here are your hosts, Sam Hoiberg and Jeff Grace III on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Walk On Weekly. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the host, as always, Sam Hoiberg in studio, and we got a guest, Rink Mast, also from Nebraska Basketball, in here with us today. We're talking some NBA. If you guys want to join in, Sartor Hamann text line 402-464-5685. And again, streaming Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 961, as we got Royals on the FM airwaves. But we're talking NBA in the last segment. I want to keep going there because we still haven't brought up the Denver Nuggets being ahead 2-0 on the Denver Nuggets. I wasn't anticipating it. I did think the series was one that would go to 7, but man, 2-0. You steal the first 2. The altitude clearly didn't bother.
Can I correct your mistake there? You said the Denver Nuggets are up 2-0 on the Denver Nuggets.
Wishful thinking. Timberwolves are up 2-0 on the Denver Nuggets.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I was thinking the Denver.
Sorry,
Denver
go
Nuggets.
on. I was just
No,
I had to correct that for the viewers.
Yeah, you sound like a Timberwolves fan over there. I know you're happy to see them succeed again, although that's not your allegiance.
So I kind of reignited my love for them a little bit, seeing them do well, because my dad's best friend since like middle school. He lives in the Twin Cities area, and he came into town a few weeks ago when the playoffs were starting, and he was just talking about how the city's just going crazy, and he's a big Wolves fan himself. So I have it in, it's what I grew up as. Like when I was very young, I kind of lost my love, especially my dad started coaching the Bulls, but not a Bulls fan anymore. And I really need to pick a team, but I have the Spurs now, so I'm not going to pick them over the Spurs, obviously. But I do have a lot of love for that organization, just growing up around them. So seeing them do well and seeing the city just so excited, it's really cool to see, and it's making me definitely cheer for them right now.
Yeah, they were talking about moving that team at one point in time too, or at least it was
Really
being brought to mind. Yeah, because I mean they had a bunch of bad years. That is like the first time they won a playoff round since like I want to say 2004, mid 2000s.
My dad was on the team last time they won a playoff series.
So yeah, that sounds about right then.
It was 04.
04. So 2004. And it was just bad season after bad season. I don't know if they ever got to real talks, got the paperwork, but it's definitely a discussion that was being had. moving out of the target center as that contract was going to be getting there, and they're trying to figure out if it was going to be worth it. So it is fun to see their success there. Rink Mass, when it comes to the Timberwolves, Denver Nuggets, I know you're a Jokic fan. Did you see this coming at all?
No, especially with Denver having the first two at home. When the Timberwolves, like when they won the first game, I was like, all right, we dropped one game, we can tie it up 1-1, and then lost the second game. It's like, oh,
badly too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
without Gobert,
that was bad.
Without Rudy is just Here's
so
my.
I'm scared that. I mean, it's like in Minnesota, if we don't get swept, like it's 3-1 and like coming back down 3-1, like you're gonna have to steal both games in Minnesota against this Timberwolves team. That's very hard, especially with what's happening with Jamal Murray right now. Like he might get suspended. So it's looking very tough.
Here's my take on the Timberwolves right now, because they're such a physical defense and they're really good defenders.
Yes.
With the way they call the playoffs they let a lot go. That defense is a monster right now.
Yeah, no, just across all the playoffs, I've definitely noticed all the refs have like allowed a lot more physicality than the regular season. There's a lot less calls on just pushes, and they're letting a lot of stuff go, but they're also calling some random stuff. So
seems to vary by game almost.
Yeah, it's a little like tough to like be ready for as a team, I'm guessing, but they're definitely letting more stuff go, and that plays right into the hands of the Timberwolves for sure.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair to say best defense in the playoffs. I don't even think it's really close at this point.
They had a 90 defensive rating against the Nuggets, which
that's.
If you look, I mean, college basketball.
In the NBA, that's crazy.
College basketball is different. I think Iowa State was like 89.5 all year, and the ratings are significantly lower in college basketball just because of the less skilled players and how hard everyone plays.
Right.
But holding the Denver Nuggets to a 90 rating without your best defender is just unbelievable defense.
Because where the Nuggets at normally? Probably like 110 or something.
Offensively,
yeah,
I would guess close to 130.
Really,
NBA offenses, like I think the Celtics lead and are definitely in the 130s. Like
wow.
the best defensive rating in the league was probably 107, 106.
Okay,
that's complete guesses, by the way. I don't know if we want to fact check that.
Yeah. So the offensive ratings, the Celtics were first with about 123.2.
Okay, that's way off.
We need to like, clear up. Like this is per 100 possessions. How many points the team scored?
Yeah. Okay. For the viewers that don't know what offensive defensive rating is, it's per 100 possessions. It's how many points you would score. So like 108.5 would be average. Like you would score 108 points if it was a 100 possession game.
Yeah. Can you guys guess who number 2 is? Also in the playoffs?
Offensively?
Or actually, excuse me.
Defensively?
Yeah, they're in the playoffs. Offensive rating, number 2.
Offensive rating. OKC?
No.
I think it's not the Nuggets. Okay, surprising. Then I'm going to go with.
Maybe not if you're watching this team during the regular season. It's more
Pacers.
of a league pass.
The Pacers. Isn't it?
Pacers at number 2.
They play so fast. And
Pacers sitting
there.
I haven't followed them.
That's why that game last night was so fun to watch too, because they were just flying up and down the court.
Well, Obi Toppin too.
That was just something
incredible.
else.
Pulling that out of the bag. Number 3, you got OKC, 4 Clippers, and then 5, you get to the Denver Nuggets.
What is their rating?
The Denver's at 118.4.
Okay, so it must have dropped because I saw those numbers earlier in the year that were closer to 130. But I know the defensive ratings are significantly higher than than college.
Because like our goal for a game for us is like 95.
95, yeah.
And we normally get
if we get 95, we probably win the game.
Yeah.
Or under.
Yeah.
90 like under 95 we're winning unless we have a terrible offensive game, but then still it's gonna be close.
Yeah, can you guys guess who the worst offense is as I look at up these NBA all defensive stats per 100 possessions?
Just the whole NBA?
Regular season. This is just the regular season. The playoffs, there's not enough sample size yet to really figure anything out.
Was
if you're playing the Timberwolves.
Washington?
Hey, yeah,
Was it Washington?
Wizards dead last. Good.
What was it?
Washington Wizards dead last at 110.5.
Yeah, just
Let's
pick,
see,
just pick the team
dead
with the,
last
with,
is
the worst,
110.
with the worst record.
Did they finish worse than the Pistons?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I believe so.
that Kyle Kuzma tweet did not age well.
No.
The Detroit Pistons were. I have to actually count down which number they were there, but not sitting too great either.
110 as the worst is still quite impressive.
Yeah, I mean that's that NBA.
For like,
can you pull up the
college
defensive ratings as well? I want to see what.
Yeah,
the
that's
lowest.
what I'm trying to figure out here.
Nerding
I'm
out on
getting-
stats right now.
Yeah,
Love
Yeah,
it.
we're on stat
So,
news,
yeah,
of course.
this is like very analytic guy talk right now. But the 90 defensive rating from the Wolves last night is still just mind blowing to me.
Mhm.
The team that was averaging 118.
Okay, so here's the defensive ratings for the 2023-24 season. You guys can probably guess who number one is.
Is it Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Yep.
Their defensive rating is 109.0. And then you go all the way down to Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic, surprisingly, at number 2, 111. Celtics, 111. And then you get down to the Denver Nuggets at 113. But yeah, the Minnesota Timberwolves clearing above. And I think that's what makes those guys scary. As you guys mentioned it, Rudy Gobert wasn't even out there last night. And I've never seen the Nuggets be held that bad. Jamal Murray wasn't shooting great. Jokic struggling a little bit more. I mean, is this a series where if the Nuggets are going to win, we're going to have to see a real reason why Jokic is the best player and it's not close? Like, I think that's the only way it happens.
I said it today. Is like, if they want to win, Jokic, you got to put up like 50, 20, and 15.
Yeah.
Which is, I think those are pretty good numbers.
And like we laugh, but there's a chance that actually happens.
He's capable. He's definitely capable. But so you guys are talking about if you were surprised about the Timberwolves doing this to them, which I'm very surprised personally, but I had like a little inkling of it just because of how well the Wolves played them in the regular season. I know Jokic had a huge game.
It was the last one though.
Was it their last
regular season game between those two teams?
He had a pretty big game, and they still got beat pretty badly because I think the Timberwolves match up very well with the Nuggets. They just exploit all of their weaknesses, and that was like, to me, it was a little bit worrying for the Nuggets for sure. But I did still winning 2 on the road. Did not expect that whatsoever. I assumed the Nuggets would play up to their championship level and still be able to take care of them.
Yeah.
But like talking about that with like the Timberwolves matching up well with the Nuggets, who do you think like matches up bad with the Wolves? Because I can't think of a team right now.
That's a good question.
With really good defenses, there's not many teams that you match up bad with. That's the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you can say the team with the best offense, but
it'd have to be
the Celtics would have to be the one that you'd say, but
Porzingis would be healthy by then. By the time you get to the finals, I'm trying to think of a team that's just going to play like if the Mavericks would have any chance, just with their style of Luka and Kyrie inside, they're going to be weak. But you're not necessarily worried about
Luka can
protecting the
handle
rim.
the physicality that the Timberwolves bring. Yes,
I think Kyrie can handle that.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Mavericks maybe.
That might be. That would be a fun.
You guys
series.
got the Mavs winning against OKC because I got the Mavs winning.
Yeah, OKC. I mean, I wasn't. The Pelicans is just a tough read. It's going to be interesting too where Brandon Ingram ends up because the Pelicans don't look like they're going to keep him around. But yeah, the Pelicans wasn't a good test. OKC, I'm just not sure yet. I don't want to say they're inexperienced. They're a young team, but we can't just pretend Shea has no playoff experience. Like he hasn't been there at high levels, but he's been around enough where I think he's not this young guy coming in there that's going to shrink in the moment. Arguably could have been MVP this year behind Jokic.
Did Jokic
still be decided?
Win?
I don't think it's been decided yet, but I'd be very surprised if it's anybody but him. It could be Shea. I mean speaking
is that a game tonight?
Tonight we have, as I pull them up.
Yep,
here.
OKC Mavs at 8:30.
Ooh.
Celtics are up 6 right now, into the first.
Yeah, so we got Cavaliers, Celtics, and then Mavericks, Thunder later today. That one's 8:30. Cavaliers, Celtics. I mean, we haven't talked about the Celtics yet because I think a lot of people are just expecting them to get to the NBA Finals, or at least the Eastern Conference Finals. Where are you guys at with them? It looks like they kind of figured it out. They had a little bit of scare of losing one game to the Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler being there, but they turned around and quickly closed out that series. Now they got the Cavaliers. Seems like a pretty favorable matchup. I mean, the Celtics
favored by 12.5 tonight.
Yeah. They're favored by 14.5. I'm trying to stay away from those lines.
Yeah.
But they are just incredibly deep. And that's why they get those odds. Is this a year for the Celtics? Because I don't think we're really going to know until they play that Western Conference team, whoever
Yes.
meets them in the finals.
Like with their run that they have through the East, I think they can make the finals pretty easily. I think that I actually think that the Pacers might win the series against the Knicks,
Yep.
even though they just lost. But like the Pacers will look really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that the Celtics are too strong for whoever comes out of that matchup. But yeah, all the good teams are in the West. So whoever they get out of the West, it's going to be a good series for sure because the Celtics are really good. Yeah, we'll see.
I think I like what you said about the Pacers
Mhm.
because their style of play, with the amount of minutes that the starters play for the Knicks and the lack of depth that they have, it just seems like they're not going to be able to keep up by the end of the series. And I mean, Indiana is just a really good team in general.
Mhm.
Great offense, obviously number 2 in the league. So I could definitely see the Knicks losing that series. And then if Indiana can just play faster than the Celtics and get them out of their comfort zone, then maybe I could see them challenging them. But the Celtics are such a good, deep team. I mean, Derek White is playing at a superstar level right now.
Yes.
And I feel like Tatum hasn't even done a ton. And he's obviously got the most firepower on that team still. So I definitely see them running through the East. And I think they definitely have a very good chance to win it all.
Yeah, they need it. Well, I shouldn't even say they need it. I think people still forget. Even though they've been good and they've been banging their head against that Eastern Conference Finals, that's still a pretty young team. Like, that's a team where people are talking about blowing it up if things go wrong.
No need.
No need. Yeah, absolutely no need. Like, you
Yeah,
keep those
why?
guys around.
Why when you not succeed, you have to blow it up? Like, take a couple years, develop guys. Like every single time, it's always like, no, blow it up, start over.
Mhm.
It's like the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Like if you blow it up, you never know like what pieces you're gonna get. Yeah, yes, you have draft picks, but like those are not guaranteed to play out well. So yeah, no, definitely don't like scream for blowing it up. Like
same with
be
getting
smart
rid
about
of coaches. Like the Bucks getting rid of Budenholzer, I still think is
I hate that move.
such a
Yeah.
horrible decision. Same with
Yeah.
even Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing well, and they just never really seemed to get it going.
Darvin Ham. I'll throw you a tough one. Darvin Ham.
What about him?
Right
That-
move, wrong move.
that.
Too quick.
That I think that coaching spot just in general is
It
always going
doesn't
to be
even matter
no.
who's LeBron's coach at this point.
There's always going to be debates about that coaching spot. Like it doesn't matter how well.
I think Spoelstra is the only one that really mastered coaching him.
Yeah.
He's the only one that really survived it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ty Lue is
True.
pretty okay with him. So
Ty
I'd still
Lue-
give Spoelstra.
Yeah. How did was he still with the Cavs by the time LeBron left for LA?
I think he was for a little bit there. And then eventually moving on. I have to double check, but I remember that. I know there was disagreements. There's disagreements with LeBron and the head coach everywhere he goes, but I felt like that one, for the most part, was pretty mutually respected at the end of it. Spoelstra, obviously. Vogel, thought they should have kept him. You had a couple bad seasons.
Agreed.
Your best players get hurt, but you fire him anyways. You bring in Darvin Ham. He's got a winning record. You lost in the Western Conference Finals last year. You get rid of him. I'm kind of with you on the coaches. I just think it matters a lot with that continuity. You look at the Denver Nuggets. You look at, you can't really argue with the Celtics, but even the Miami Heat, Spoelstra's been there. Despite not always having the best players, that team plays well in out, every single time they're out there in the playoffs.
Spoelstra is a playoff coach. Like I
Mhm.
saw a stat on him. Like he's supposedly a top 15 coach of all time. That's what they said he was, but he's never won a coach of the year.
Yeah,
Which is
I saw
crazy.
That
That
is
he's never won
crazy.
coach of the year.
Especially with those Heat teams. They must have just thought it was too
Mhm.
easy for him.
Yeah, with the LeBron and Wade and Bosh, like those years. Yeah,
That's almost harder though. When you're balancing that locker room, like that bunch of talent, and you're
Mhm.
making sure everybody's happy. I mean, you look at the Phoenix Suns, and I don't think people were saying they hate the coach, they hate everything, but it's just hard to keep everybody happy and committed to the goal, especially when you're losing games. You got a star-studded locker room and you're losing, to be able to keep everybody together. So yeah, Spoelstra, that's crazy that he's never actually won a coach of the year. But with that being said, we'll throw it to our last break here. This is Walk On Weekly. We got Sam Hoiberg, the host as always, along with Rink Mast of Nebraska Basketball joining him as well. So don't go anywhere. One more segment. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather with no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for after the spring game in late April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Spring is a time of new beginnings and trying new things. If you haven't tried Furious Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For parties for St. Patrick's Day and Easter, or celebrating the NCAA tournament with friends, there's no better dip to bring everyone together and celebrate something from Nebraska. Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Furious Cheese Spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Join On the Block and Old School live from Scissors and Scotch on 30th and Yankee Hill on Thursday, June 6th to celebrate their grand opening. Feel better instantly with a beard trim, haircut, or a traditional shave courtesy of the experienced and professional barbers at Scissors and Scotch. Stick around after your cut and enjoy a beverage in their cozy bar area, and don't worry, there's more than just Scotch. Spend your afternoon with Scissors and Scotch at 93.7 The Ticket, live on location June 6th from 2 to 6 p.m.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars: Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour, every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
This is Coach Bill Bush. You all know my passion for Nebraska. Having coached all over the country, I can honestly say there is no place like Nebraska. You know where there's also no place like? Midwest Bank. Midwest Bank has proudly served Nebraska for over 70 years, and they're located in 9 different communities. Midwest Bank is ready, willing, and able to meet all your personal, business, and agriculture needs. Your community, your bank, and mine, Midwest Bank. Find out more at Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Back to Walk On Weekly. Here are your hosts, Sam Hoiberg and Jeff Grace III on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Walk On Weekly. As always, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the host, as always, Sam Hoiberg to my left, and guest Rink Master, both guys of Nebraska basketball. To wrap things up here, we don't got a ton of time left, so we're going to be doing these NBA picks as well as trying to call out the series since we only get these guys once a week. The next time they're on here, we'll probably have some answers. But nonetheless, Sam Hoiberg, Rink Master III. Let's just start with the game that's going on already. Game one, Cavaliers Celtics. Celtics leading that one 47-34. Who do you got? How many games?
Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 5.
Yeah.
I think this is a Celtics sweep. I think I'm going to give the Celtics a sweep here in the second round. I think the Miami Heat, they got a little scared, a little shocked. I actually think the Celtics are that good this year. I think they sweep this one.
I like the Cavs enough that they can get one at home. Like Mitchell just gets hot, flaming hot, and they tough it out. I think they can get one.
I have the same exact thought process as Rink.
Yeah,
I think Donovan Mitchell will have a game where he just leads them to victory, but I don't see them getting more than one.
All right, so we got that one. Pretty definitive. Celtics going to win that one either way, whether a sweep or just dropping one game. Pacers and Knicks, that was pretty surprising just by how close it was with the Knicks-Pacers yesterday. I'm tempted to go Pacers here.
That one is probably the toughest pick for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to say Pacers in 7.
Oof, I'm going Knicks 7. I was actually going to go the other way, but I'm thinking 7-game series.
I think 7 games, and that's where it gets tough because
Knicks at home is tough.
Knicks at MSG with the crowd like that right now is going to be. I mean, last night the Pacers had the game wrapped up. I mean, not wrapped up, but they had them where they wanted them, and they were still not able to pull off the win. But I just think that they're going to wear out the Knicks, and I got Indiana in 7.
Oh man, okay, I got 2. Both you guys taking Pacers in 7. I'm taking the Knicks in 7.
That's a fair pick though. Like that series can go either way.
Well,
sure.
Especially if it's anything like game 1. I mean, that thing was that could have gone.
That's gonna be a very fun series.
The way the Pacers were flying up the floor and the lack of Knicks bench right now, I feel like they're gonna get worn out. But they're obviously the team that's probably best prepared to play a series like that because they are used to playing a bunch. But that could also be detrimental because their bodies may not be able to handle it at this point of the year.
It's gonna be fun. I thought the Pacers were gonna be. I thought there's a chance they can win the Bucks, but with the Knicks, I just thought that fast tempo offense, especially when the playoffs, you really lock in on that defense, and that hasn't been in the Pacers' DNA all season long. So I've just been incredibly impressed. I'm still gonna go with the Knicks though, because I do think that Pacers that eventually bites them, trying to play that high tempo straight offense all the time, but the defense has been a little more impressive than I thought. Next game, Thunder, Mavericks, and then we'll finish it off with obviously the biggest one.
I am a Luka fan, so I have to go with my Mavs. I'm picking them in 6.
Ooh,
me and you have the same exact thought process right now. I have the Mavs in 6. I think that their experience is going to help them a ton. I think Luka's going to get healthy, and I just don't see Oklahoma City having it in them right now to beat them. But
I think they're very good. If it goes to a 7th game, I think the OKC is going to win at home. But I do think that Dallas is going to close it in 6.
I think it's 6 or 7 Mavs either way.
Really? You think that Mavs would pull out Game 7 in OKC?
With those two stars and their experience in the playoffs, I believe so.
Yeah.
Because
Kyrie is what 13-0 in closeout games.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I saw there was some posts about that. It's like crazy, like 13-0 in closeout.
And a younger Luca. They beat the Suns in 7 to go to the conference finals. Is that right?
Yeah,
they,
that was
they
the
won.
embarrassing loss for the Suns.
They won in Phoenix, Game 7, and
True.
Luca was just absolutely cooking them. And I think that's
I
think that's a better team than OKC. Obviously, they're the 1 seed and everything, but I don't have enough faith in that young roster right now.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm gonna go with the Mavs. I'm not gonna be too creative. I think I'll probably even give it to the Mavs in 5. I just think Luka and Kyrie, they're cooking right now. That's a team that scares me a lot if I'm anybody in the West. Okay, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Minnesota already leads it. They blew out the Nuggets in their last game. Who do you guys got in this series?
I'm thinking Denver's going to split the series in Minnesota and then win their home game. But then the Wolves are going to get the 6th game. So Wolves in 6.
I don't even need to talk. Rink's got the same mindset as me. I got Wolves in 6 as well.
I'm gonna hold on to my Nuggets here. Probably the least likely, but Nuggets in 7.
They pulling it out.
Jokic is gonna put up
my man.
I know Jokic is gonna start putting up the 50 triple doubles. He's gonna find a way. Get it done.
Murray is not healthy enough for this, in my opinion.
It's there's a lot of reasons to be concerned. If you are rooting for the Denver Nuggets, if there's any of these picks I would take back, it's probably that series right there. Like I think there's a real world where the Nuggets pulled off. We've seen crazier things. We've seen the Cavs come back 3-1 in the finals. But the Timberwolves look legit. Anthony Edwards is on a tear, making a name for himself. But that's going to wrap it up for Walk On Weekly with Sam Hoiberg, the host as always. We had Rink Mast hop in for Jeff Grace III today. Appreciate you guys listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.